So today I'm going to show you a couple of what we're going to do is we're going to start by those of you who are using UART paper. We're going to treat our paper and fix it in some way and then put it aside to dry. Then I'm going to spend a couple minutes showing you how to mat your pastels so you can preserve them and, store them in a way that they don't rub off and make a mess. Then we're going to go to one of these two landscapes. And those of you who are working on UART paper, I'd like you to try one more marker drawing. You can see that this one on the left here has already been marker drawing. You're going to pick one of these landscapes and sketch it in marker and then color it in the way you want to. The only thing I'm going to ask you to do is pay attention to value. So I'll make sure depending on which one you pick. I've taken both. Well, that's not true. A friend of mine took this photo. I took this photo. It's in northern Scotland from my friend's lawn. I noticed as I sent the original picture across that you can see her garbage bin over here on the left. So I cropped that out, make it look a little bit less thin. So let's start, for those of you who are using the UART sanded paper. Once again, I'm just going to take a bunch of different colors. I don't really care whether they go with each other or not. This is the best part of this exercise. And I'm just laying them out. I'm not even thinking, I'm just grabbing what I like. I'm just grabbing what I like. Here, I'm covering up the paper. Now, last week I used Gamsol. I like how this looks. That's it. I'm stopping right here. Last week I used Gamsol, and you can see also I've got a little bit of dust. So the first thing I'm going to do is shake that off in the garbage can. And last week I used Gamsol and a brush. This week I'm going to try this pastel fixative. So I'm just going to spray it. And then I'm going to put it aside. Put it over here along with these things. These things are all going this direction so we don't get them. So go ahead and do the thing. I want you to. You could also use rubbing alcohol. Remember, we're just trying to fix this layer so it doesn't. And what I'm doing right now is kind of cleaning off any pastel or stuff that might lift off. There's all kinds of things on this painting surface. I do love how this painting surface looks. It's just sometimes you want to, when you're doing this work that I'm going to be doing now, you want to be careful. Okay. So I'm actually laying down a little bit of newsprint here. And I've got some cardboard, fairly thick. So I just cut it off the edge of a box. And then this is a mat that's 11 by 14, cut with an 8 by 10 inch hole in it. So the thing about pastels is that and we're going to frame this guy today. The thing about pastels is that, right, to make them look vibrant, you can't really fix them like we're doing here. We can't fix the top layers. So the question becomes how to store them. The way I like to store them in a way that makes them easy to kind of move around. In my case, for my business, I can sell them if I want to, is I like to frame them. But when you frame them, I like to mat them, I should say. So you can see that this mat has a kind of beveled edge right here. And I'm going to flip it over on the other side where the edge is flat. And let me know if you've got questions as we're going along. I've got a little bit of tape. And then I've got
Bevel is facing down to the newsprint?
Yeah. Yep. The beveled edge is facing down, the flat edge, the back of the mat.
It's okay.
So notice, I'm just, and it's important to use cardboard that's thick enough that it has a little bit of a height to it. I'm literally going to place 4 of these. I kind of line them up in 2 different ways. I might move that around. This part that's sticking up here, I might cut off because that could be distracting. So I literally place these pieces of cardboard and then I tape them on. This is like this kind of artist tape that you can buy. You can use all kinds of tape. It doesn't really matter because no one's going to see it. Oh, you're going to frighten me. You could use, I like to use artist tape because it's kind of designed. It's a little bit more hardy and adhesive. Sometimes Scotch tape. And you want these to be fairly close to the opening, but not right at the opening. You can see it's pretty close, not totally. So these get fixed in place. So now I have these little rack stoppers. And what's important to see is that they kind of lift the painting or the pastel away from the mat. My next is to take the pastel itself and flip it over. Now I have to be careful that I don't get pastel on my hands. And I don't exactly know if this is lined up correctly. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to push this up a little bit so I have room to turn, is I'm going to actually flip it and line it up. There we go. This is kind of the way I want the bouquet to be seen. Right, so I've got this lined up. I'm going to hold it on the back edge and flip it over. And then the last thing I'm going to do, and I'll show you why we go to all this trouble. Not the last thing I'm going to do. The next thing I'm going to do is to tape this onto the mat. So I'm kind of going over the back edge of the paper and onto the sanded paper and onto the mat. So this tape I can peel off without hurting the paper, the pastel paper at all. So now it's attached. I can kind of freely flip it over. And then there you go. I have a framed piece. But what I want you to see is that there's a little space. So these cardboard pieces act as spacers. Because what will happen with pastel is it starts to kind of fall off a little bit, right? And you don't want it falling off on the mat. You want it to fall behind. So there should be a little bit of space there. And then the last thing I'm going to do is take one of these special art sheets. I'll show you the brand in a second. And whether you're selling these or not, I mean, I do this to sell them, but whether you're selling them or not, it also allows you to store it in here. Wait, wrong way. I want this to store along the back side. I want this to fold on the back side. So the front just shows paper. The nice thing about this process is that because nothing's touching, because this part of the pastel doesn't have pastel on it, and this part is pushed away from the mat, you're less likely to get, you know, plastic pushing on it. You might, over time, as you move these around, get a little bit of pastel on this plastic sheet, but because it's pushed away from the mat, it's a little bit far enough away from the plastic sheet that everything kind of stays pristine. So you can see it. Yes. If I want to, I can pop this right in the frame. If I mean, I take it out of the glazing package, but if I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet, I can kind of keep it right, just like this. And I can store it. I can store things on top of each other, and there's less likely, the mess is kind of contained. This brand that I like to use is called Crystal Seal. It is made in Glassine. Glassine is a archival.
It's not Glassine, this. It's Glassine is like translucent. This is plastic.
Well, it's a Glassine style. It's made with Glassine has polypropylene in it. So,
right. Oh, I see.
It's a Glassine-like material that you can store things. It's an archival quality material,
right,
which means that you can put it next to painting surfaces and it won't shed off. It won't, you know, wreck your painting. So, so that's the process. What do you guys think? Does anybody have questions about that?
Oh, looks pretty straightforward. Thank you for showing us.
Yeah, you're welcome. I thought we should show it because you're going to start collecting those. And it's important, like I said, whether you're selling it or not. Like, for example, Jean, I don't know if you sell your pastels, but you're doing some great stuff lately. It would be neat. And I know you have those empty frames. So you could switch out your art if you had it stored that way, right? You could switch it out every month. You could put up something new, which I really like to do. So let's see here. So I want to pull us back into gallery, and I want to not remove the spotlight here for just a second. So yeah, so that's kind of the process behind that. And what I can see here is that what I like about the fixative, because see, now I don't have that problem, that issue of, so now I come back to my piece that we're going to be working on today. Here. And it's fixed. It has a different quality than if you use a liquid alcohol or Gamsol. The alcohol or the Gamsol, this kind of fixes all the marks in place, which is fine. It's just a little different. If you're using alcohol, it'll look more muddy. All of that is okay as we go forward. So what I think I'm gonna do is start with, I have both of these out here. I think we have room for both. Maybe what I'll do is I'll photograph this one, and I'll also sketch out the simple lines for this guy too. So you guys, as I'm demoing mine, you guys can decide, do you want to use the one that I'm doing? Do you want to use the one that you're doing? What I really like about this particular piece, and you are allowed to edit as you wish, right? You don't need to have those. I rarely include those telephone poles in here. It's not very romantic, is it?
Is it possible to send one across the thread that doesn't have the trash can in it? I mean, I could edit it myself, but.
Of course, I'm doing it right now. I'm just getting it ready for you.
Oh, I didn't understand, sorry.
Yeah, I'm getting it ready for you. So, but also you can always edit yourself. And that's a good thing to be thinking about doing. I'm not going to do this one. I'm going to do the other one. But I will send both of these across so you have them. Wait. All right, give me just a second. So you're going to start, if you're working with the pastel, the UR paper, I'd like you to start with a Sharpie sketch. If you're starting with Jackie, if you're like Jackie, you're working on newsprint. Oops, nope, that's not what I want. If you're working with Jackie, like Jackie, and you just got newsprint, you're just going to start like you would with any other sketch. You're just going to pick a light color that will blend in with all the other colors to do your beginning sketch. Here we are. Yes. All right, so there's that one. And then here is this one. Oh.
Yeah, is your camera frozen? Or is that just my internet?
I am taking pictures, so it's not.
No, never mind.
Using the camera that I'm also using to show. So give me just a second. I'm just making sure you guys have these. There you go. Julia's already gone ahead. So did you fix that, Julia?
I sprayed some hairspray on it. I don't know whether that'll work, but I'll see.
It will work. It will work. On this first layer, Julia, I want to encourage you not to sketch in anything. So I'd like you to go over with one or two colors on top without drawing. So the point of this first layer is not to draw. It's just to create a background that's a little bit more tony. So could you do that? Would you be willing to take a couple of swoops across and spray again?
Yeah.
You're going to go back into it anyway. Take something like funky, like blue.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, great. Hold on. Here, let me get back up here. Hold on. Yes, it doesn't like to do too many things at the same time. Now I'm coming back. Here we are. Yes. So now you guys have your options. And you'll notice I very specifically did not include colors because I want you to start playing around with color and value. So your assignment today, as we start to sketch these out, I want you to get kind of free with color, but the colors do have to match the values. And I would like you, I know, Nancy, you don't like this, but I want you to try it one more time. Then you're
what? Oh, I just couldn't get my Sharpie to work on that.
Yeah, I think are you using something different this time? Or are you using a spray?
No, I used the fixative and I scraped off some of the top. It's just like it acts as if the Sharpie's out of ink.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
So I don't understand
why.
Why are we using a Sharpie?
Because it provides a texture that's different from the pastel. It provides structure that will show through the painting. It literally is providing a texture that you don't get from pastel. So always with drawing and painting, we're trying to create a feeling of textural difference. Here, hang on a second. Right, texture differences. There we go. And then here is the river bank. Here, like that. And the Sharpie actually provides a really excellent counterpoint to the softness of the pastel. So just underpainting shows, and you can see here, I'm actually sketching in some marks in the darkest areas because I want some of these marks to come through. So it's all about texture balance. You might not get it, Nancy, because we haven't done watercolor. So it's a very thing in watercolor. You will often start with a pencil sketch, and the pencil actually provides some texture that shows up in the final piece. In acrylic painting, it's the underpainting. And in pastels, right, it's the underdrawing. So this is a way of creating a little bit of extra texture that will kind of interplay nicely with what we're doing in the pastel. It's a different kind of mark. Does that answer the question?
Yes.
Great. Probably tediously answers the question way more than you wanted it answered. So here you can see I actually sketched out and colored in using crazy marks to start my you know, in the darkest part. Okay, and so now as usual, I'm going to start sketching, but because I have a lot of freedom here, and I don't want to influence too much in how you guys do this. I want you to do this your own way. I'm going to test this one. There's this kind of crazy purple. That kind of goes into the background. Is it dark enough? I don't really know. I might have to go darker. I remember that my trees in the background, they're all solid dark up till the very top edges, right, where they meet with the sky. This tree is in like kind of a foreground area. I like that. And here is a slightly lighter area. And I think I want to make my sky, because I love this color, lemon yellow. So can you see how I can cover up my marker? If I need to. And look at how fast, maybe not entirely, but I can let like little bits. Look at how fast. I'm actually kind of working. So one of the things I want to kind of encourage here is an expressiveness, because we've done so much work with our Sharpie and our first and our you know, kind of background that I think a lot of things to work with. Maybe I'm sort of intensely picking colors that aren't the colors of the you know, that are the traditional colors we associate with grass, with trees. Let's see. I'm going to make the river kind of pink, because why not? And then I'm going to lay a little yellow on top. And it's still lighter. I know I'm going super fast. Don't worry about trying to keep up with me, and ask me any questions you like as you're trying to go. Don't worry about trying to do the same colors that I'm doing. This
is my first time doing the Sharpie thing. So unfortunately, I was so concentrated on my Sharpie, I wasn't watching, but now I see you have color everywhere. Is the point?
Not everywhere, not everywhere. So I'm working with my darks and my lights. Okay. So I'm laying colors that represent, I started with my darks because they're easier to see. So I know this is light, so I laid a yellow on here.
Okay.
This is fairly dark. It's kind of purpley tree color. So I laid that down here. I might leave that in here too. The reason it looks like I have color everywhere is that my background is showing through.
So you're doing like dark, all you're doing is picking colors you like and applying them in a darker light fashion? Is that right?
Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm applying value to color. So I'm picking any color that I want, but the color has to reflect the value, right? So this has to read as a dark and next to this light. That's what I'm doing. So you can do any color you want. And it looks colorful because I already have this thing underneath, right? So I can like, so I'm having a little fun and I'm intentionally picking colors. So I know when I lay this down that it's got to be lighter than this and this. Right? That's what I know. But it doesn't have to be a grassy color. I also know that the edges between light and dark be kind of soft. So even though I've got some lights, I can see what I've kind of done is reverse the colors. And I'm kind of like, and I feel a little bit like I've lost this tree in the front. So I'm lightening this tree with a little orange on top. So it sits in front. What else do I want to do? Maybe I want a red tree trunk. Whoops.
Colors.
Here, let's just go crazy. I'm just literally going, okay, what color will read like a dark? And you're going to find this is relative. Sometimes a color will be like a kind of a medium. And sometimes it's going to read like a light. So you may have to adjust as you go along. I think these are working pretty well. And then, you know what I really need? These hard pastels, right? Really great for adding some kind of hard lines. But I also know with my reflection that I can soften by just running my finger over the marks. So my reflection in the water, even though it looks pretty hard, I do want to soften it a little bit. Same up here. And notice I'm not like drawing everything. This is funny, Marcy and Nancy, you'll probably notice I'm doing something similar with your painting right now. Trying to get enough of the sort of branchy texture that you want in it, right? So I'm playing around. I like it. It's kind of very quickly coming out. So then I go back and I'm like, okay, what areas could use, where am I losing areas? I can see that down here, I can't really see the bottom of the tree. So I'm actually changing my shadow color there. Might even bring a little bit of it on top of my, so I'm just kind of pushing my darks a little bit more. Over here, I'm using the tip of my crayon, my pastel, to provide like kind of the light grass strokes. Now I'm kind of laying in a couple of midtones. But you can do the same thing with the other. There's no reason not to do the same thing with the other. So I'm kind of now paying attention to this midtone, which is a little bit, now the grasses and going, okay, there's some areas that are darker and some that are lighter in the grasses. I'm noticing that my edges along the water are kind of, you can see a lot of like grassy reflections. So I'm trying to get that tree and grassy reflection in. Let's see. Yes, like so here, for example. I don't want to lose my dark here. Maybe I want to push my light a little lighter. Maybe I want to sprinkle a little light. You're going to find this process is a little scary because it goes so fast. Because I'm still not like, do I like it? I don't even know. I'm just reserving judgment. I'm like just sort of focused on the task of creating colors that match the value. I've decided I'm going to have you guys do so. We're going to go back to some copying later, but I wanted you to have this experience of kind of deciding. And I thought I might lay, by the way, a little bit of orange on top of the blue in the lightest areas. Maybe this crazy multi-green color. I wanted you to have the experience of trying to see how defined your color sense is, how absorbed you can get in the task. Notice I'm doing a lot more kind of single strokes here towards the base. Everything going back is a little bit looser and more in sort of clusters and groups. There's a lot of correct ways to do this, so do not despair if it's not working exactly the way you want to. You can make it work. I'm not even sure, like I said, that this is working. I've done this several times with this exercise. Is it working? I don't really know. But can you see how, I don't know if you can see this, but the structure of the Sharpie is there. It's helping kind of add some firmness so that my colors feel a little bit more stabilized, as it were. I'm going to stop here for the moment. Huh. It's not the worst. I'm going to drink a little tea and step back. I very intentionally never pick the same colors twice. Well, I mean, I don't really think about what I picked the last time I do it. I'm just like, what's appealing to me in the moment? You will find that you have a kind of natural, quality, a sort of way colors you gravitate towards at any particular time. And it'll reflect your mood and how you're feeling. The only important thing is to make sure that you have matched your colors to value correctly. I noticed back here, my tree here was pushing, I was kind of losing it because I didn't have a dark enough base here and my tree wasn't light enough. So I went back in and lightened that tree. I might have done it too much, we'll see.
I found, Leah, that with value, doing, I don't know if you can see that, doing that with my pastels.
Oh, here, let me hold that up. Hold that up. Look at this.
Yes, you can see the.
Oh, clever girl.
Marie, I can't take credit, but it really helps.
And help her see her values.
Mm-hmm. That's a fantastic idea. Thank you, Marie. Good Lord, somebody who knows pastels is teaching and everybody else can remember. So
I
that's
missed what that was. What was it, Julia?
which matches light, medium, and dark.
Sorry, what was that, Sandra?
I missed what it was. Can you show it again, please, and explain?
I just took a black and white photo of my pastel set so I can see the
Okay. Right. I was wondering what all these lines were. I thought it was the painting, and I thought, what else? That makes sense. That's good thinking.
Idea. This is going to be, for me, I'm going to be honest with you. For me, this has always been extremely easy, matching color to value. For other people, it's difficult. So and there's no right or wrong to it. Certain people seem to be able to do that. I think it just depends on what kind of artist you are, like whether this is an easy or a difficult task. So yeah, use whatever. Use whatever. You're going to see this moves you fast, much faster. So fast, you'll be like, whoa, whoa. I actually stopped myself because I was like, I'm going too fast here. I mean, I've been working just like 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. I wanted to stop so I could look at it for a little while and decide what are the edges I like. I'm not super happy with what's going on back here, so I might do something different with that. I like much better than I thought how this reflection of the tree looks in the water. I really like that. I'm surprised by how much I like that. So yeah, this is a different exercise. I'm going to have you next copy the landscapes of an Armenian artist named Minas Avatisyan. He was a great, or maybe Matiros Saryan, one of those two. The Armenian artists of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, these ones particularly, were very amazing in their color choices. And they're just ideal for pastel, and they're simplified. And I think you'll, so we'll do a little bit of this, but I wanted to give you some freedom too I mean, you can probably do more than one. So you might even want to treat another sheet of paper. Yeah, and send it all over. I'll take a look. I'll start taking a look now. Let's see. Oh yeah, there you go. Very nice, Julia. Nice, Jean. Beautiful. All right, Julia, great sketch. Jean, not bad. Just keep on. So, Junior, you've lost your tree in the front here. This is actually kind of a key to this composition. And your tree line needs to be higher. A little bit higher. The back tree line needs to be a little bit higher, but that's coming along. Look at how neat those greens sit on top of those reds. That's really cool. Julia, I love that. Look at how cool that sketch looks just on its own. Look at how, in a way, how much more do you need, right? You could stop right there. Jean, I want you to do more sketching. I think one of the problems there you go. Oh yeah, see. You might need to do a little bit more Sharpie sketching to really get all the shapes that are happening in this. Oh, Jackie, trippy.
I have very limited materials here.
Very limited materials. Okay, so now.
Hang on, I didn't hear that.
She's frozen.
Oh.
Just at the good bit, Jackie.
This is the good bit, and I can't hear it.
We can't hear you, Leah.
No.
Leah, you're mute. Leah, we can't hear. Okay, I don't think she can hear us either.
No, I think she's frozen.
Yeah.
No, she's not frozen. She just, because she's still drawing.
Something working.
She probably just lost her sound.
Good.
She's lost her sound. We should tell her on
Hang on.
the thread.
Is she there or has she?
I see her movement, I just can't hear her.
Yeah. I mean, I could just try and do what she's doing. I don't have the right colors or shades or values or anything, but
This is kind of bonkers.
Oh, she's on it.
I'm realizing one thing the art barn doesn't have is water, so I can't clean anything.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Hey, that was pure user error. I just kept hitting the wrong button.
Oh.
I was like going on and on about. I'm like, you're so quiet. What's going on? Oh. So Jackie, did you hear any of that?
No, we didn't.
All right. So the point is that these are all soft edges. So right now you've got these dark blocks just sitting here in like, and you need to edge them lighter. You need to look at the edges and kind of try to mimic those edges, soften those dark edges with lighter colors, right? Glasses and things like that. Because right now, when you come back here, it's less important because things look like kind of darker, heavier shapes. And because you're farther away, you don't see individual grasses, you see clusters. But up here, those dark pads just sitting don't look like. So you need them to be dark, but you need them to be soft.
Yeah.
But Leah, I'm going to send mine across. It's not quite clicking for me, but I'm hoping you might have some suggestions.
Okay. I'll take a look.
Oops.
It's going along. It's going just fine. So all the time you need to be paying attention to value. So I start Jackie by getting, or sorry, Nancy, by getting in the colors of all of the major pieces. And then I would go back and start paying attention to shapes. So don't worry about these shapes right now.
Okay.
Lay in this color, this color, this color. Get your sort of base. Don't worry about this right now. You may not even include this.
Oh, okay.
Right? What you want to do, and if you need to, you can of course always take your toothbrush to scrub out.
Yeah, okay.
But what you want to do is start with the biggest shapes of dark, mediums, and lights. Lay those in first. Then you're going to be, I'm just looking here. And notice that right now you did this, this is a drawing thing, right? You did that. Remember, things in the roads get wider as they get closer to us.
Thanks.
Slower as they get farther away. So yeah, just remember You're just remember you're drawing. Stop it. You're on the path. It's coming along. Good job, you guys. I like your color choices. They're very soft and delicious. They're kind of sagey and yummy.
Here comes mine, Leah.
Let's see. And Jackie, I think you're doing very well considering the what you've got in the art barn there.
There's not dark colors. I've only got about two
remember,
darks.
you know, oh right. So you're just doing what you can to kind of
Yeah.
I don't know, that purple looks, that sort of reddish looks pretty dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a blue and a red that look pretty dark.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Marcy, great. Great. And what I really like here, just keep on going. You're covering up all the major pieces, and look at how different the color choices are between you and Nancy, between you and Julia, and also look at the mark making. It also is having its own fun kind of like simple shapes. So really, yeah, just the pushes to keep covering everything, and then you're going to go back in and start layering in more details. So you need to fill in this whole area that's in here, but you're on the way. It's fun. Very nice. And they're so different. I love them. They make me happy. You guys are on the path. And I know because it's in that awkward phase, it feels like, it's never going to come together, but I promise you it will click. Jean, do you remember this from our first oil painting class ever?
Yes, and I've also done a really bad ink version of this. And that's why I chose it, because I was like, I've screwed.
I'm gonna get this. And if you don't get it on the first try again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a fast. But I love this landscape because it's got every edge is soft, except for maybe this one here. Every edge is soft, and there's these tremendous light, medium, and dark transitions. So you're really kind of forced to deal with soft edges. Anyway, you guys are doing great. They're looking really cool. And I like the groping, the kind of stretching that I'm seeing. So I'm really liking how you're like, I don't know if this is going to turn out. It's very rare that we get into these places. And I appreciate you getting into this place with me, because this is it. This is where you grow as an artist.
Well, yeah, I sent my Sharpie drawing, which is terrible. But...
just relax. Let me be the judge of that, okay? I will be the judge of whether your drawing is terrible. It's not terrible. The only thing you're missing, it's not terrible. It's actually kind of beautiful. The only thing, you apologize to that drawing right now, Bettina. Apologize to your drawing. Add in a tree. There's a tree shape here. So just get in this tree shape and that
tree shape. Okay.
There's a tree in the front. It's a little hard to see.
No, I see it. Okay, I get the idea of putting it in there. Yeah.
I love your drawing. There's a kind of, it's actually really beautiful. So don't think it has to be, even the fragility of the lines has a kind of expressive quality to me. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Don't hate that.
Okay.
That's pure expression.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll try.
I used to teach this when I lived in Croatia, which was, I don't know, 2009, 2010. I used to teach a mother-child art class. And the biggest issue we had with the children was that they constantly, the young ones, is that they would sit in their mother's laps and destroy their mother's drawings by drawing on them. And the biggest problem the mothers had was this idea that nothing they did was good enough. So I set up studio rules at the time. I was like, I talked to a friend about this. I'm like, I don't know what to do. How do I handle this? She's like, make studio rules that address both issues. And so this is the studio rule that addresses both issues. Don't say anything mean about anyone's artwork, including your own.
What did you address the children drawing on it?
And this is the rule for children drawing on it. Do not touch somebody else's drawing unless they give you permission to do so. And that worked. Like those worked. Because, you know, you'd say to the kids, you know, for the kids, they had to get, oh my God, I'm doing this, right? Like that's the studio rule. You don't get to touch somebody else's artwork unless they say. And I would always ask, do I have permission to touch your artwork and show you this or put this line here? And they'd have to, sometimes kids would say no, sometimes yes. And then the mothers would go, because they'd realize they'd be totally crushing their own expression, crushing it, right? Like just trampling their own creative little self trying to emerge. So I don't think we need to do that with you guys. I think you've got it. I like the way Nancy phrased it when she said, I'm not sure it's clicking yet, which is a much more neutral way of talking about it, right? Like you're like, is this good? I don't know. Sandra, are you still working on your rabbit?
I'm not doing anything. Yes, I'm planning to work on a rabbit.
But you're just waking up right now, or? I'm
just waking up, and they're redoing the alley at the back, so there are huge noises, and the cats are very jumpy. And they have huge machines. They drop large pieces of metal. They saw the road. They just do. And it's very windy, which doesn't help.
Is it cold?
It's chilly, yeah. But and it's kind of sunny off and on.
Yeah.
When it's sunny, it makes it feel so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Oh, Sandra, I had a question for you. What was it? I can't remember. It was a cat question. It'll come to me.
Rabbit's birthday?
Well, I do. Yes, it is Rabbit's birthday. Did he get it?
Yesterday, yes. I was wondering what it was about that because you saw my
No, he's Facebook. So cute. Oh my God, he's so fucking, they're all so cute. But him sticking out his little tongue. No.
Yes, he always does that.
You know, Hermes does that a lot too. Sticks out his little tongue.
It's very sweet.
It's Did you see the picture I sent across of Bazoo sitting in the stray sitting in my lap?
Oh no, I didn't. Where did you send it?
Across the thread. It's on this thread.
This thread.
Down a little ways. He was sitting on my. He now jumps up on my lap.
This is fantastic. Oh yes.
Isn't he the cutest?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, he's totally, and that right now he's laying in his little bed.
So where do they sleep at night? Does he go out at night or he stays in?
When it was snowing, I actually locked him in the studio. So he could not go out. So he slept. But I feel like he mostly is out all night. But when it gets nice out, I let him out because he's feral.
He can come in and out by himself?
Well, he certainly could. He seems to not unless I'm there. So he seems to not, he could totally let himself into the studio.
You mean he doesn't come in if you're not there?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe somebody else doesn't welcome him. Who else is in the studio at night?
Right. So
who else is in the studio at night?
What's that?
Are there any other cats in the studio at night?
No.
Oh, okay. Then does he know how to use the door?
I lock him in and he complains, but in the morning he seems fine. And I just think he's just too dumb, right? Because my worry is he can go out the studio cat door, but he doesn't seem to know how to go into the studio cat door.
You should show him, you can teach them.
I'm trying.
Just push their head through.
I'm trying to teach him, but he's not really getting it. It's so funny. But he's definitely, so
That doesn't make him dumb, by the way. It's just doesn't know human face.
We're slowly taming him.
Sandra, I like how you always have the cat's back.
She has the cat's back. She does. That's why I always ask her. Ooh, Nancy, very nice.
Coming together a little bit.
It is. So now, and here's an important thing to remember. It's a little hard to see.
Yeah.
So, and you have carte blanche. Here, I'm going to sketch this so you can see it. There's a couple of areas. So we want to, all right. So let me talk a little bit about the structure of landscapes. Each of these, as we go down the paper, each of these is in a different plane, meaning here it's closest to us, here it's farther away, farthest away. So one of the things, and you'll notice that there's a value shift that happens as we move back. So the darker things, so what I want you to do here is kind of strengthen. I want you to kind of darken a little bit here, or lighten here a little bit this line, so that this line of bushes, both dark and light, comes forward from this back area. So this back area will be, right now, this and this are the same, and I know they look like the same value, but I think you need to lighten this area a bit. Does that make sense? And then, right, we've got these back areas. And I'll show you, do you guys want to see the color version of this? I think it'll be helpful. I'll send that across. If you don't mind, I will pull this off for a second and then send that across the thread. Here, hold on. 1 second, and then I'll come put this back on. But yeah, it's coming together very nicely. So what you find is that as we start to develop this, we begin to push the, oh, exactly, there you go.
I think I might switch to pencil for the rest of the class and do another one because
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
That's a great idea. Excellent. All right, let me see if I can get all media. Come on, I know. Oh, darn. All right, I'm gonna have to, maybe it's in Messenger. No. Somewhere here. Darn it. All right, I'm gonna have to resend these over. Give me just a second. Do it here right now. I'm going to put these over in color so you can see them now. I feel like everybody's far enough along in their color studies that you might benefit from seeing the actual colors. Oh, I bet you.
I just put the light on and I realized I've been doing it in the dark and everything looks very different.
That. Well, now at least you know your painting will read well. Here, landscape, where are you? Here, nope. Here it is. Here is the color of the vertical. And it might help you see sort of some things that are going on. And here is the color of the horizontal. Where are you? Where did I put you? No, there, you're here. Oh, let's see. Here we go. Here's the colors of these, which might help you sort of see what's going on. Oh, now that I've said that, Nancy, I can see that actually, well, anyway, there's ways to play around with that. There you go. Okay. I love watching what you guys are doing. We will do more practice on landscapes, on colorscape. We're going to go to cityscapes too. We're going to end up doing people and figures, all that stuff. We're going to do everything. Don't worry, we will do everything. But I like seeing what you do on your own. I think that's important in the scheme of the. I love seeing the choices that you're making. I love seeing how individual people, I love it when people are in the same room and doing totally different stuff. It's like, it's really awesome.
This is a great exercise, Lee.
It is not bad, right? It's enough freedom so that you can play around a little bit. I sometimes worry that I take away too much freedom when I'm, doing these. So I like to throw these out just to give people a little sense of like, what would I choose on my own? Oh, and you've reminded me, I'm gonna button Marie down and get her to give me some dates she can teach, because I do think everybody would benefit from having a class with Marie. Or maybe a couple.
Benefit from what?
A class with Marie, or my landscape pastel artist teacher. She's fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. Ooh, yeah, Julia, fun. I love the yellow road. Oh, I love the softness. So I don't know if you can see this back here. There's actually a little bit of water, but you don't, it's kind of beachy water. So there's two lights here. Here, hold on. I love it, Julia. So now I love your sky. So now you're just kind of pushing the lights. What I like about this particular photo source, if you can look at the color particularly, is notice that as things go farther back in away from you, they get lighter, they get bluer, and they get lighter. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
So so you have this neat little turquoise edge that's right on the top here. Here, hold on, I'm gonna show you. It's this area here. If you can lighten that just a little bit,
yeah,
I think that will really push. You can't really see it in this, hard to see in this sketch. But I love that turquoise edge. Just push it a little bit lighter, and then you're going to feel that landscape just push back. Good job, you guys. I will be right back. One moment. Anybody have anything for me to look at? Just working. If you finish one, do the other.
Finish.
How's Lucy doing over there?
It's Lily.
Oh, Lily, I'm sorry.
Lily's already finished.
Lucy is Julia's.
We actually have a Lucy, but
we have a Lucy.
Lily and a Lucy, but this is Lily.
Hey, Lily, how's it going over there, honey?
Can I send it?
She said, okay.
Are you having fun?
This is Lily's first pastel ever.
So Lily, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Are you in college or just finishing, or what you doing?
Yeah, I'm in college right now.
Girl, that looks fantastic. Are you happy?
So are you happy? Oh yeah, I am.
It's gorgeous. It's coming along very nicely. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Oh, I love it. Well, if you have any questions, let me know.
I will, thank you.
Who just sent over that nice looking landscape on the top? Jean, getting there. So Jean as well, I like how you're starting to get, so Jean, this is feeling, so number one, your shadow is kind of falling.
Yeah.
Right? And your tree, I want you to notice this tree is really quite connected to the stream. So right now, those things are feeling kind of far away. You could, but I like what's happening up in the front here. I like how you've drifted in this kind of medium color over the side. Pay attention to this edge a little bit, soften this a little bit here. Connect this whole section more with what's going on here, which means look at what's happening next to it.
Okay.
And that will help. There's also a couple of mid-tones back here that you could, like you've got very nicely described here, that you could add in back here.
Okay.
It's looking good. Oh. So Lily, do you know what you want to be? What you want to be? You know what I mean? Do you know what you want to do for a job?
Are you talking to Lily?
Yeah.
She left.
Oh, she left.
she's just wandering doing her thing, but she'll be back.
Excellent. You're doing a great job.
Okay, Leah, I sent another one. I don't know if it's enough change to make it worth commenting, but.
Are you enjoying this? Kind of fun, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I like it.
You know what?
Really, it's great, Nancy. I love
really struggling with mark making.
So, go ahead.
I just feel like I can't put in anything that makes it look like trees. It's just like blobs.
So here, let me show you a couple of techniques. How's that? This is a great, you always ask the best question. So in the back here, right, it's, here, I'm gonna put this down too, so you can really see what I'm doing. In the back here, it's less, I'm using my back, I can use my background to come in.
Yeah.
Right, like that. And I can also use my finger. I can kind of like circle to create a softer edge. In the back here. When you come to the front where there's more detail, you can make sharp edge marks like this. So in some places, like here, in this reflection, I don't know if we're doing that, but right, like grasses, you can kind of use the edge of your pastel to create kind of a sharper hard edge and not blend it in. You can do little groups of clusters in these far back areas. Here, let's see. In these far back areas, I'm kind of looking at light clusters and using like kind of the long edge to create sort of light to dark clusters, and also kind of blending them over my darker shapes, right? So the edges are a little bit softer. And let's see, you've got different shapes here. So up here where you've got these bushes, try pushing a little bit more in, and then blending a little bit of the background into the edge. What's kind of happening here, right? Or here, sorry, or here, is that the light is hitting the leaves towards the top, and they a little bit more translucent. You can kind of slightly see through them. So you can see a little bit, it's kind of like painting in what do you call it? A glass vase, right? A clear glass vase. You need to get a little bit of the background in there because we can see it, but it's softer. So it's a similar thing happening with the leaves, but kind of a little bit more subtle.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Thank you. That was helpful.
Yeah. Everybody's drawing training is coming in very nicely here. I can see you working your contrast areas, working your darks and lights, thinking about what's far away and what's close up. I'm looking for this. There's a great quote by Francisco Pacheco, who was the teacher of De La Vasquez. He wrote a book on painting. He was himself kind of a heavy-handed painter, but he was a good teacher. He had a great description about how to paint a lot. Might have even saved that. Yeah, I can find it. Anyway, it was a wonderful quote somebody gave me. Come on, somewhere. So Jackie is working on a novel in her artist retreat. Yes,
Well,
Jackie?
I'm attempting to.
Would it ruin it to talk about it, or can you tell us anything about it?
Well, I mean, it started because I typically write nonfiction, and it started as kind of a memoir reportage bit about, you know, DEI issues in academia, which my agent didn't like and didn't really work. And so some bright spark suggested, why don't you just make it into like a campus novel, and then you can exaggerate everything and make it really funny. And that's a much more fun way to get across the messages that you want to talk about. So I'm just trying to do that. So, I mean, without any sort of like expectation that it's going to work or anything, it's like in these classes, I'm just really playing with it and just seeing what happens.
Is it fun?
I mean, it is fun because it's different to what I've done before. And I trained in children's literature, and then I write in adult nonfiction. So writing adult silly fiction is, you know, it's like just picking up a new art medium, I guess, and just trying something that you haven't tried before.
That's so cool.
Where are you, Jackie?
Cool.
I'm in central Pennsylvania. I'm at the Highlights Foundation, which is the company that makes, you know, the Highlights magazine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but they have this writers retreat campus in near Wilkes-Barre.
Okay.
And it's just really nice, and they feed you, and I've got some friends here with me who are probably writing while I'm drawing, but that's okay. It's all art.
It's cross-pollination.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
I'm much happier with these pencils than I was with the pastels.
That's okay. You're kind of limited by your materials.
Yeah.
You can see the difference, but it's nice to kind of see what the art paper, the sanded paper does for a painting, right?
Mm-hmm.
It really does. I'm looking, oh my God, I might find it. Okay, Francisco Pacheco wrote in the 1600s. Oh, he lived a long time, lived to be 90. He wrote a book called The Art of the Picture. It's a treatise on the art of painting, and there's a fantastic description, if I can find it, on how to paint a landscape. It's like just a paragraph. Of course, I'll have to find it translated. I'm gonna have to look for it again. He, like I said, was kind of a stiff painter himself, but he was the teacher and then the father-in-law of Velázquez, you know, one of the painting greats. There's been a lot of conversations about whether Velázquez is good because he listened to him or because he didn't. All right, I'm not going to do it later. We've got about half an hour left. So what I'd like to do at this point, I'm going to remove the spotlight and put you all in gallery view. I want you to just hold up what you got. Let's just see how it looks kind of far away. Nice, Jackie. Oh yeah, Rabbity. Mr. Rabbit's coming quite along. Oh yeah. Yeah, there you go, Jean. Now you're starting to get there. Nice, Osiris. Very nice. Marcy, hold yours up. Nancy, these are great. So notice as you kind of hold them up, how you can see, holy moly, Marcy, that's fabulous. Who knew I only just need to put color in your hands? Reminds me of myself. Oh, Bettina, are you going to show us your, Bettina, that's looking great from here. I'm really liking it. Yep, awesome.
My plan is to add more highlights and more vibrant colors.
Yep, great. You got it. It's looking good. So just remember your those dark areas that are floating right now. We want to soften those edges. So soften those transitions. They're everywhere. It's easy. They're all over because that particular subject has so many dark areas. But you'll see, if you look closer, you'll see there's light grasses coming into the edges of them. That's how it kind of looks. And in the front, so for this one, the key, I think, in the front, and it's true of the other one as well, is that the most detail goes in the front here. So you can see I took a lot of like pastels on their sides. I did grasses, kind of simple grasses. A few kind of sticking out here. And then back here becomes a little bit more like group. As I go further back, it becomes more like groups, right? It becomes more like clusters of light, medium, dark that still have these soft edges. So that's the trick with that, like pastels. Anyway. Let's see. Oh yeah, these are looking so freaking cool.
Are you still looking for that quote? Are you there? What? She stepped away. So quiet. Is everybody there?
I know everybody's more chatty, but I like the zone. It's a good zone.
Osiris, did you log on?
She's here. She is here.
Hey, everybody. I said hi, but everybody's busy. I didn't want to be.
Hi, Osiris.
Hi, everybody. You know, the Oscars are here, so it's like kind of busy in LA.
Yeah, I noticed we don't have anybody else in LA here today. Although I think,
I mean, it was either do my job or, not do the class. So I had to do. Yeah, because it's coming out, so we get all the packages. We have to post, you know, and do the letter and all this stuff.
All the things. Do all the things. Yes. When is the Oscars? When is the ceremony?
It's I can't remember right now because I'm on concentrate.
March 12th.
It's in the next 3 weeks.
March 12th.
Ah, yes. March.
Sunday.
Good to know.
Always on a Sunday. Always in March so far.
No, it's usually been in February.
One time they had it in February and then they changed it.
It's always been in February for a long time. For
well, they try not to
in February.
They try not to combine it with the Grammys. So the Grammys, usually the Grammys come first, then first of all, the January, then NAMM, then all of that. But because of COVID, they switched all the scheduling around. So they have everything back, you know, kind of the Grammys first, get that out of the way, and then all the other stuff, and then the Oscars. But she's right, the Oscars used to be in the February. They changed it all around now.
It's thanks to COVID that it's back in March, as it used to be.
So it's really weird now, but you know, I get to do a little bit. I'm a small little independent thing, you know, I'm not some big thing here. But I get to have a little bit of glory.
See.
You go on the red carpet?
Ah, very nice, Nancy.
No, I'm in a Zoom, I'm in a box. And then you can go live. If you want to do the hotel here, you can go live and do on the carpet in the hotel, which is like the outside of the red carpet and on the other side. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because the bigger, as you know, Sandra, the bigger people have the red, then we get to be behind them.
Right.
Nancy, nice edges, beautiful.
That was a very helpful little tutorial there, Leah.
You went everywhere and did it. Like, that's really great. So you might want to add in that light fence that's in the front on the right, where you've got that. Maybe you want to lightly block that in. Yeah. By the way, I really like what you've got going on in the road right here. That's quite, and then how it kind of rolls back to these guys, which have these little light. I like what's happening over. Very nice, very nice. Super.
So when you say wall, oh, I see, I didn't realize that was a wall.
I know, it's a little hard. Take a look at the color version. That's why I sent the color version across so you can see it. There might be things that you could, so I'd look at the color version now and see, are there areas that aren't easy to see in the mix, but very nice.
Leah, I cannot believe how fast you are. You know, as I sit here and like add all of this detail, I do not get how, I mean, I know you've been doing it a while now, but it's amazing.
It's fast, you know, you get faster. And also my nature as an artist is a quick and expressive. So Sandra, whose nature as an artist is beautiful amounts of detail, she's going to always spend more time on her work because your level of detail is greater. So it needs that kind of attention. But mine works best kind of expressively and quickly. So you find, and Sandra, I'm not like saying one.
No, it's okay. That's true. It's true.
Literally just saying, I like it because what you and I do is so different that it's an easy comparison. Both of them are totally valid. I mean, I know people who spend, I know artists who spend like 3 months on one painting, right? I know,
yes, I know
produce hundreds, right, in a month. So it's you got to figure out what works for you, and that's what works for me. So in that way, I probably influence you a little bit more towards the way I do it, but I'm always aware. I don't want, anyway, I want you to do your, you know, you are still going to do it your own way. It's interesting. So yeah, it's just a sort of thing that's evolved over 22 years. Now, when you put it like that, it's a lot. It's a long time.
I sent mine over, Leah.
Let's see. Let me take a look. Oh, Bettina. Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow. So okay, this is fabulous. So the only thing I want you to do is in the front here,
Ooh,
on the picture so you can see it.
that's pretty.
Bring those lights into the dark.
Bring them into the dark. Okay.
Because if you look here, you see they're coming into the dark. They're not edging the dark. They're actually moving into it. So, but beautiful, beautiful, very emotional, beautiful work. I feel like you're maybe, do you have a little thing that's, is it this person who died recently? Is that making you feel sad? I can feel something in your work that's coming out that's very beautiful. Anyway, it's none of my business.
No, I mean, I'm overwhelmed recently, so that
I can feel that in the work. There's some emotion there.
I had a vitreous retinal detachment yesterday. So
are you okay?
I'm okay. My retina's okay, but I'm having to learn to live with giant floater right in the center of my vision now until my brain learns to ignore it.
Oh my
wow.
Yeah. I'm calling it, you know, and I realize
you're my Shiro, girl. You're my Shiro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jeez,
but, you know, it wasn't my retina. Yesterday I had like electric threads in my vision. I had to go to the doctor. So I thought it was going to be surgery, but you know, luckily no. So I just have to.
Stuff going on. I can feel it. There's some sadness in this piece, and I think it's important.
And it's a beautiful sadness.
You're having to work around it, right?
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Much respect, Bettina. Much respect. Much love. That's great. Beautiful piece. And you're going to learn how to, the beautiful thing about art is that you can take your practice around that big floater too. Marcy, fabulous.
I guess, I mean, my brain's supposed to learn to ignore it. So that's good.
Yeah, that's good. And as we know, the brain's a remarkably flexible creature.
It learns quickly, actually.
Is it going to heal, Bettina?
So as I understand it, the thing that was causing the flashes was when the vitreous inside of my eyeball was in tension with the retina, and then it detached. And so that means that the flashing is stopped, and it's just going to be there. So I don't think there's something to heal, Nancy. I think it's okay. The doctor they just don't want it to turn into a retinal detachment because I'm very nearsighted. Which means the shape of your eye is kind of conducive to it for some reason. But anyway.
But your brain can figure, because if you think about it, the way we actually see anything is brain takes little pictures, the eye takes little pictures and puts them together in a composite that makes sense. So your brain's already at work figuring that out. That's
and distraction helps. So I noticed when I watched a movie last night, I wasn't aware of it at all. So
good. And when you're working on your painting, you're getting it. You're not only are you distracted, but you're being able to sort of express some of that anxiety and upsetness into the work, and that's good. You're releasing it. You're releasing it. You're honoring it, and you're releasing it.
How did you notice? What did you feel?
What? Oh yeah. What did you feel, Bettina, when you?
When I was driving to work yesterday, when I was, you know, my eyes would move back and forth and I was changing lanes, and it was like a bright electric thread that would come and go.
So this happened, the detachment happened yesterday?
It did.
You didn't see anything beforehand? You didn't notice anything beforehand?
No, so I had about 2 hours of the on and off bright lights. And I actually, you know, I was able to drive. It was just intermittent. And I was able to do a meeting. And it was right at the end of the meeting. And actually, it was probably the end of the event when all of a sudden, like my left eye was just full of this floater. And then the light stopped because it had detached. So then I went to the doctor and they just confirmed that my retina wasn't hard.
Wow, I would have thought it's something that took weeks. I didn't realize it can happen like within a day.
Wow.
in a minute. No wonder you're freaked out. That's a freaky thing to have to assess.
That is. You are my shero.
Ooh, Jean.
No.
Jean, you are conquering this. You are conquering this landscape. Oh, Julia, I love this. This is magical. I love your color choices. Jean, attach. Either create a soft edge here. Because right now your shadow is detached and just floating in the back.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see exactly what you mean, yeah.
But fabulous. Look at, you're conquering this thing entirely. Oh, Cyrus, that's gorgeous. Here, I'll turn it. Can I turn it? Maybe I can't turn it.
You have to turn it around. I'm sorry.
I can't turn it. I can't figure out how to do this without pulling my phone down, but I love, even I'm just tilting my head.
Let me see if I can take it the other, because I painted it linear, horizontal, not vertical. So that's why it was turned. And I don't know how to turn it on my phone. I know how to turn it on my computer.
Got it. These are amazing, you guys. They're so different.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I did it.
Do it. Do it. Send it across. I love the little light edge you have around your blue river. I love the softness and the mark making of those trees in the background. It's great. It's really, talk about a landscape, an emotional
Can you see it now?
Yeah. Sandra. Bravo.
I'm not finished, but I just did most of the eye.
This is fabulous. Oh, this is looking great. You guys, these are beautiful.
Thank you. Good
That's
teacher.
Beautiful. Oh, Cyrus, I love how pastel is working for you as part of your mixed media expression.
Thank you. I can add it because people like it.
It's a natural, and I like how you combine it with the pencil. So I like that juxtaposition of the mark making. I think that works really well, particularly for your expressive tendencies.
Well, you know what I did? Mm-hmm. I used do you know the end of a pencil?
Yeah.
I used the edge of the end of a pencil, not the lead, the end part, the
end part. I like it.
And I did it. It did back and forth, and it brought up the other colors. It was like really cool. It's like, yay.
I love that. Super inventive. And another way besides Sharpie of providing texture, right? A different texture. So that like pastel, which is softer. Marcy, I just wanted to tell you, your rabbit makes me very happy.
I love this.
It's something about the colors and everybody take a look at sort of what is.
I love Sandra's rabbit.
On the thread. It's really fun.
That's cute. Hi, little rabbit.
Little rabbit. Sandra's going to be painting rabbits for us all year because it's year.
I don't know why I like rabbits.
You know what? And it's the year of the hare in Chinese New Year.
It is the year.
Yeah, that's it. Marcy, that's wonderful. I love it. I love it.
It's actually.
If you want to? Can I show you a couple of drawing tricks?
What's Sandra?
Yes. I was going to say about more commissions. I've sold more paintings of rabbits than anything else.
Can you bring them so we can see them?
Here.
Oh, not today, but I'll get them to get them.
Yeah, bring them
to Leah.
Not today. I'm coming next time.
There's a
whenever you can come. The new business.
You guys, there's a lightning of the road.
Oh, I see the road. Yeah.
That kind of brings it back.
Cute.
So remember, you gotta need at 1 point.
Oh wow.
Instead of being straight like this. In 1 point. So if you can turn it, take a little bit of
nice.
And move it in to that single point. So all these lines go to that single point.
Okay. Wow. She's an elephant.
That'll really.
Wow.
Honestly, you guys, these are fabulous. Oh, nice.
Wow. These are really cool.
Get super dark in here. Get super dark and heavy, so we can't really.
I'm having trouble because I don't want it to just be black. Like it's really hard with a pencil to just like, not make it.
Yeah, just you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right, Julia. And you got in the trash can. You made the trash can look
like this. It's so like, you know, it's I want to do a series next, Leah, on the kind of urban landscape. It's like where kind of human meets
the land. Oh, it's fabulous. It is fabulous. It's so fun. Oh my God, I might even send that to my friend Laura. That's her house.
Oh wow.
See, this is what I want. I want you guys to have a sense of playing around. We spent a lot of time drilling down on basics, and I wanted you to see how different this could go. It's wonderful.
I loved doing it in black and white, Leah. That was a really fun thing to do.
Right? So that you have to pick the colors and you have to match the values.
Brilliant. It's nice.
It gets you to think, but it like doesn't direct you too much, right? Because otherwise we get literal when we see the real colors. That's what we want to do. We'll spend another 5 minutes and then we'll carry on. Carry on with our days. Bettina, are you affected by reading right now? Can you read?
I can do everything. I just have a big floater.
Okay.
Annoying thing.
Annoying thing. Great. Good.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have to, as long as you can read and do the thing.
Yeah.
Does yours have ring? I have ringing in my ear. I have to go for ringing ear things. Do you have ring in your ears too with your eye thing or no? Just
no.
I've got ringing in my left ear permanently.
Who is ringing?
Wow.
I have ringing.
My arthritis is picking up.
My lumbago is bad.
I think it's gonna rain.
We should have one class, Lee. Everybody tells what's wrong with them. My leg here, we got a migraine here.
I thought every class was
really
like
want to know
that.
what's going on.
My father-in-law calls that the organ recital.
Oh, that's funny.
That's clever.
That's hysterical. No, one of my cousins died yesterday morning. I've had the fun. Then I have to work. I'm like, Lord, please help.
Well, it's never small things, right? But it definitely, I know what you mean. These are so fucking cool, you guys.
Well, they add up.
I love these. I love these. These are terrific. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up. Unless you all want to stay. Hold on a minute.
I gotta go and finish my work.
I am happy, Sandra, if anybody wants to stay, I can
stay a bit if somebody else is staying.
Does somebody else want to stay longer?
I can't.
I can stay for 10 more minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that.
All right, I'm gonna make Sandra the host.
Leah, I tried to make it a bit darker using a dark blue.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That's nice.
Actually, that's working out really well.
Really
I think that's working out well. All righty then. Well, Sandra, can you do me a favor? I just made you the host and then I realized, can you stop the recording?
Now? Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I just realized, oh wait, I can't do that anymore. I should have done that first.
Oops, yeah, great.